We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins defense versus the Chargers. Another sort of collapse from the Dolphins defense, because actually their first half performance wasn't too bad, holding the Chargers to field goals, creating a turnover. Overall not too shabby. I would say, like, if you looked at it from an overall perspective, the run defense was better than it was versus Carolina, but still too many big gash plays. Like, they had majority of their rushes held to under 2 yards, but like the plays that were just undisciplined, that were able to, hit a big hole, poor run fits, they just created like 40, 30-yard runs, and those really hurt Miami. Chargers also did what a lot of teams do against Miami, is first and 10, play action, sort of max protect once they get that run game going, and they were able to get some chunk plays off of that. And, tackling not being great again. We'll get to that at the end of the game, talking about that. Jalen Phillips missing the sack, Trader missing the tackle. The thing with Jalen Phillips is he was easily your most disruptive player in this game. Like, he had a really dominant game. It's just unfortunate he missed that final sack, which really just puts a damper on his performance, because he's probably been your best defender throughout this whole season. Still some, problems where they got out schemed, stuff like that. Players not doing their job, lack of eye discipline. We're gonna get to that. Rookie performances. The first play we'll break down. I actually thought it was another solid game from Jordan Phillips, playing limited snaps. I thought, there were some other people. We got to see, like, Juju Brents played a few snaps. There wasn't really anything to break down there. Bonner played. We'll look at Bonner a little bit. I would like to see more of Bonner. And then, we get to, like, the rookies. So Kenneth Grant, I actually thought this was probably his best game, because he comes away with this sack early on, like one of his first reps on Justin Herbert here, like his first real, like, full sack. And then the rest of the game, he had a couple more positives, and then I would say his negative plays weren't really that negative. Like, he didn't have any, like, he had a lot of neutral plays in this game. If you had to grade the plays from, like, positive, neutral, negative, I would say a majority of them were neutral. He didn't have any plays in this game where, like, he would, like last week versus Carolina, when he got blown off the ball. So it's definitely a step in the right direction for Grant. Now, this is a poor O-line, but hopefully he can build his confidence off of this, and just kind of continue to progress upward, because you definitely need to see a lot more. But it's definitely at least somewhat of a slight positive development so far, at least from this game. And this is a good rush. I think I feel more comfortable with him as a pass rusher. Like I said, I think he plays with more explosion and power as a pass rusher. Here as a 3-tech, just getting up on the guard, good pad level. Look at him extend with his hands, and he's just leg driving. Does a good job kind of opening up the guy's hips to the inside. So, like, he attacks the outside half, so Herbert can't escape to the outside, but now he's just to open up those hips, so when Herbert escapes, tries to step up in the middle, Grant's able to get off of that, peel off, make that play early on. Definitely was like the first positive sort of play for Miami in this game, because they held the Chargers to the field goal when they started around midfield off the first turnover of the game for Miami. And then here they were able to get him off the field. Good job from Jalen Phillips. Good job from Minka. I think Minka's been another one of your more consistent defensive players. Phillips, I like this look. I like when I want to see more of this, where they get your 3 DNs on the field. You got Chop and Chubb on the outside, Phillips on the inside. You can see how dominant Phillips is. He's too explosive. Now, I don't like dropping Chop into coverage. And we'll get to Chop. Another game where he played limited snaps, and I'm going to show where he was aligned at the end of the game, and why his pass rush is like, let's just say Chop needs to be playing wide 9 a lot more in these obvious passing situations. I don't know why he doesn't. And then, like, here, he would get that snap and he's dropping into coverage. But Phillips gets a great rep. He's obviously super explosive, disruptive, unfortunate. Like, I mean, this is just a nasty club. Like, look at this crossover. To me, Phillips is probably your most valuable trade asset. Like, I would love to trade Chubb, but I don't know what you get for Phillips because of those big injuries, but he's one of the only players that's actually playing good. Really violent club there, and the ability to, like, you can just see the bend. Like, look at his right there, the flexibility in this spot to bend and turn the corner from the interior. Pretty impressive stuff. And a good job from Mink on the back end finishing. Then the next drive, Dolphins created a turnover. Rasul Douglas, another good game from Douglas. Douglas was really bad. I think last week was like the first really bad performance from Douglas. I think he was one of your... the whole defense was bad, but he definitely had a really struggle of a game. So it was nice to see Douglas bounce back, and he made a lot of good plays, lots of strong tackles. Here he forces the fumble. Thought he was competitive in coverage, so good bounce back game from Douglas. Good job there. And that led to a Dolphins scoring, like, I believe it might have been even the next play. Then it's 3rd and short. So the Dolphins are actually doing a decent job versus 3rd and short. Now the Chargers adjust, and they get a toss play going. Dolphins are super, tight here. They got everyone on the interior. And then you got Judon and Ashton Davis at the play side, who are like the only guys who really have a chance to make a play here. And I think they're just late. I think they, kind of Judon takes that false step. These guys have the natural leverage advantage. They have the number advantage because if you really look at it, it's like 4-on-4 on the interior, and then they have 3-on-2 over here. So they just lose the numbers battle. Like it's just no shot. So I think they just kind of get out schemed there, and there's no chance for anyone to really make that play. Just a huge hole for Kamani Vidal to make that opportunity. Another play that played was KJ Britt. Like right here, it's not his best play, but I mean he's not gonna have a chance to stop that from his position. But I actually would say Britt made some decent plays in this game, and I think he does a better job versus the run than Dotson. So he's not going to give you much in coverage, but you do kind of need to stop the run. Still want to see more Willie Gay. I don't know why he's not getting an opportunity. Play action, like I said, Dolphins have struggled on like play action. They go max protect, so they play action, they double Judon, they double chop, and now like the linebackers kind of just get sucked up too much here. I think Jordan Brooks is responsible for the running back, so it makes sense. And then KJ Britt is the only real middle of the field defender. And then Ethan Bonner versus Ladd McConkey. We got some white on white crime here on the outside. And like Ethan Bonner, if you look at him, he has outside leverage versus a deep crosser to Ladd McConkey. They have this guy running like the deep corner clear out, and they just hit Ladd McConkey. I mean, that's gonna be an easy completion all day long. Like Bonner could have played it better, but like that's getting completed pretty much from his positioning every single time. I will say this though, Chargers O-line must be pretty bad because Jordan Phillips actually had some decent pass rushes in this game. Phillips, I think Phillips has been your best rookie so far, to be honest. And I don't even know if there's really a competition at this point because it's not Jonah, it's not Grant, and then like Ollie had that one real solid game, but other than that, he hasn't had too much of an impact. I think he's been held back a little bit by opportunities as well. That's a big play to Ladd down the field. Tough guy to tackle, as we know later on. And then just more disciplined or undisciplined run defense. You actually play things pretty nicely. Everyone kind of does their job. Like things are filled up here nicely. Run fit in control. KJ Britt comes in, fills, takes on the offensive lineman in the pull, and then Matthew Judon is the force defender. Can't allow this to get to the outside. He just boom misses and he breaks the arm tackle. And Vidal makes another big chunk play, picks up like 19 or something like that. Dolphins were able to respond and hold him to a field goal. Dolphins are doing this a lot. So this is man match coverage. You can see on the back end, everyone's playing man, and then Dante Trader is the robber. So he's looking at this receiver. If this receiver instantly breaks to the inside, Trader actually takes him man to man. So Bonner has this guy man to man unless his first like few steps are an inbreaker. So now that Bonner sees that, he passes it off to Trader, and then he becomes the robber, and Bonner does a great job passing it off, finding 86 and taking away that throw to not really give that a chance. And then up front, you get some pretty good pass rushes. Sealer gets a win, Phillips gets a win. Didn't get too many opportunities, but I just feel like Phillips, Chubb even got a win here. I don't think Chubb had a great game. I think Chubb should have been better in this game considering like the offensive line he's going against, but it was really more of a Phillips takeover, and then Chop, barely playing snaps again. But I did like this play. This is definitely a really solid play from Ethan Bonner, understanding his responsibility. Dolphins been running a lot of man match in those spots. Here's another example of play action. They basically, they don't max protect, but they do basically jump set to slow people down. Chop actually has a decent rush here, just gets there half a second late. It is tough to get there very quickly on these types of plays because you might be thinking run, and then Chop's just there a split second too late, and Herbert's able to hit that dig route right in between everybody. This is kind of where people get taken out of position. Like KJ Britt here, not a great cover guy. Like here, he squeezes a little bit too much. Like here, you can squeeze initially. Like right here, you can squeeze first step. But once you see like his momentum's going to continue into Brooks, you got to peel off and get into the middle because ends up getting hit right in sort of your zone where you should have been. Ashton Davis is not too bad of position here. He's actually does a decent job trying to really kind of take away that window. It's just Britt gets too far out of the way, and you get Ladd McConkey. And then Minka tries to close and get a big hit. It's just they make a big play on 1st and 10 again, and there were some players doing their job. It's just sort of one player out of position, and it's not good. Then they get beat on a screen. They set up, Judon doesn't feel it at all. So Judon kind of leaves this. No one else is really in position. And Trader's the only one who actually does kind of read this play. It's just, and he beats the block of the alignment. This is not really, like, Trader doesn't make the tackle here. It's really not that bad of a play. Like, he's the only one that recognizes it. He's the only one here. He forces the tight end to work back to the inside. Like, he beats the offensive lineman. If anyone recognizes this play at all, like, this could be, like, from the interior, this is probably, a stop for a minimal game. But he has all that space to work with, and Disley's able to make a big play. I do think Trader needs to work on breaking down. This one, not in particular. Like, I don't think he's really at fault here for not making this tackle. Like, there's all this space to work with, and he has to beat an offensive lineman initially. But I do think, like, Trader's playing hard. He's playing fast, and I think he's playing with pretty good instincts. It's just he's taking some poor angles and needs to work on breaking down. But I still want to see Trader play more because I think, we need that development for the rookie class. And then here, Chargers were just finding ways to convert. They did this a lot where they basically set up a rub play, a pick play like this. So the number 2 goes out. Basically, they throw the slant underneath. 15, Ladd sets this up. He doesn't actually pick him, but he slows him down by just giving that little hezzy and then moving out of the way. And it's just a free pitch and catch. They threw that like 3 times in the game. Then an off script play. They take away the flat there. They're trying to initially read over here, see if they can hit Keenan in behind this. Then he's off script looking for Ladd. They pass this off, and now Ashton Davis. They're in like off script territory. He could probably hit Trey Harris for a touchdown, which makes sense. But Ashton Davis, just poor eye discipline. Once, like, he looks back to the quarterback. Once he peeks back like this and he sees Herbert about to escape, like he sees Herbert about to escape to the right, he needs to get his eyes way quicker back to Ladd and just be in a better positioning. But he doesn't. He takes a false step, gets out of the way, and then Ladd just cuts underneath him and takes a free path and pulls away. In scramble drill like this, you got to find your man and stick with him, and it's just a free pitch and catch. Just undisciplined there from Ashton. Another play action shot. They max protect. You're not able to get any pressure. You drop Bradley Chubb into coverage. Dolphins are running, cover 3. And they have the Trey Harris running a clear out, and then they run the corner behind it, the 7 to Rhonda Gadsden. And since he's the flat defender, like, Chubb is not going to gain enough depth here to take away this throwing lane. And then KJ Britt, who's playing as like a hook, has to somehow get out and play a corner outside of the numbers. Like, it's just the perfect play call to attack what you ran. And like, it also, the players it's attacking coverage are guys who are not cover defenders. And it's asking KJ Britt to do way too much. Like, it's a play a linebacker would never actually make. And they get an easy completion. And then the fat to the flat touchdown. The fast to the flat. The running back fast to the flat. It works every time against Miami. Another example where they're just like poor number advantage. Like, they're up here to stop the run in the interior. And then look at this. So Trey Harris to eat. You only have 2 numbers over here. It's Minka. It's literally Minka and Bonner here. So, Chop actually gets some instant penetration. Doesn't matter in this specific play. Minka has basically a tight end, a fullback that are eligibles, a running back that's ineligible, and then Bonner's responsible for the receiver. How is Minka supposed to really make this play? He has a tight end blocking him. He still almost spins out of it. It actually gets to the running back. Like, Minka's put in such a tough spot here, and then KJ Britt tries to get over there. It's just numbers. Like, they don't have the right numbers for what they need on the field. Like, why do the Dolphins have more numbers to this side? Why is so they have 4 in the interior? Why is Judon, Jordan Brooks, and Rasul Douglas tied over here, but this is just Minka and Bonner? Why not have Jordan Brooks to this side, where they have extra numbers? They only have 1 extra number to this side. To this side, they have 2, plus a receiver. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. And then the running back makes it an even extra number. It's just getting out coached in that situation, in my opinion. And then more big plays. Another play where you kind of get out schemed, because if you watch this, they slant to the inside. So they try to get a run slant going. Jordan Phillips run slant, so he's lined up as a B gap defender. He slants to the A gap. Chop Robinson, he's lined up to play as like a C gap. He slants into the B gap. So they run the perfect call because they are attacking into this C gap with this fullback, and it's a perfectly called play because now it gets Jordan Phillips to get taken out of the play. Chop get naturally taken out of the play, and Jordan Brooks is now supposed to replace that. But there's all this room. Ashton Davis gets way too wide. He needs to set the edge here, but he needs to constrict this a bit. And now it leaves Jordan Brooks one-on-one with a fullback and a running back with this huge hole, and he has no chance to actually make a play. Unfortunately, this is probably one of the better Kenneth Grant taking on a double teams as well. It's just not really coming his way. He actually fights through it. It's just everything else around him kind of gets broken down. It's just they called exactly what needed to be called for your run slant. The two knifers get taken out of the way, and the guy supposed to replace them really has no opportunity to make a play. I think Brooks takes a poor angle, but no matter what he does, he's probably wrong there because of how much room there is to work. And Vidal gets a big chunk play. This was a big moment in the game because they held the Chargers to a field goal, and that allowed the Dolphins, to be down 6 and still have an opportunity to come back. Another good rep from Jalen Phillips, winning, getting penetration. Good coverage on the back end as well, holding things up. Herbert, and this was like the one time Herbert made a poor decision. If Minka was able to make this interception, it would have been huge because then they would have scored a touchdown and went up 4, and that would have forced the Chargers to need a game winner. I mean, it's a tough interception to make because Keenan basically turns into a DB. He knocks it out of your hands. Like, you're not expecting him to make that catch. But would have been nice in that spot. So, and then we get to the big part. I mean, once I saw the Dolphins score with like 45 seconds left, I knew it was over. Here's the first one. Great job from Herbert. Got to give him credit. So the Dolphins bring all their best pass rushers on the field. You got Sealer. Chop is so wide. Look where Chop is. Chop is so wide, he's off the screen. I know you can't just align a guy there all the time. But, I feel like I haven't seen Chop there all year. Even in, the obvious passing situations. Why not have Chop align that wide? It allows you to really utilize his speed and power because he's a really speed-to-power play, so he can either win around the edge, and if the guy gets too wide, he can, kind of power his way back to the inside. Here he kind of, and it creates so much room because, look how much room is created from this right tackle having to get to the outside. And then Phillips and Sealer are able to work a really nice stunt. Phillips creates this. Sealer is able to loop and get it a free hit, and now everyone converges. Chubb gets his best rush, and they all converge. Herbert just does a great job. I mean, I got to give him credit here. He doesn't break that sack, but he does a great job getting that ball away. And then you get another one. So you have Chop in a wide 9 positioning, and you have Phillips aligned with him. So with this wide 9, it just gives Phillips all this space to work with. And Chop wins his rep around the edge. He gets a really clean win. When Chop's in this spot, this is where he can get some really clean wins. Hopefully they can find a way to utilize him like this more. Phillips gets a super clean win, great hand usage, great explosiveness. Everything's really, really solid at this point. I think once he's here, though, Phillips has to know, he has to take a tighter angle. I think he just gets a little too wide. He has to, I think, know the situation, hey, Chop's going to be flying off the edge. Herbert's going to be trying to step up as much as possible. So he's feeling him step up. It's just Phillips is not inside enough. I feel like in this point he's got to just hard take an inside stab because now he's too far to the outside. He also even kind of takes Chop out of the play because he kind of bumps Chop a little bit even wider and not allow him to wrap up Herbert. And then he's able to now then get off of it. And then he makes the throw down to Ladd, makes Trader miss. I have the other angle so we can see the missed tackle better. So here's the coverage on this play. You can see everything up front. They're running man match. So they got single high. Trader is the robber. And Trader is looking to this side of the field. If anyone breaks the inside, he's communicating hey, okay, Minka and Trader pass this off. Minka ends up, becoming the robber and kind of, taking away that. KJ Britt's supposed to be man-to-man on Gats, and he's super behind. But Trader takes Ladd. So now that Herbert's broken this is where he catches it. No offense to Trader or anyone on Miami, I'll be honest. I think Ladd McConkey is making every single Dolphins defender miss in this situation. Because look how much room he has. He is about 8 yards away. And I understand Trader's mentality here. So he feels the momentum. This ball's thrown. Ladd's momentum is carrying him to the sideline. And he thinks hey, he's going to be trying to get out of bounds. So I understand why Trader takes a wide angle here. Because he doesn't want him to get out of bounds. It's just you got to break down a little bit better. He breaks down too late. And then Ladd makes him miss. So, not excusing Trader, but, I mean, I'm not expecting. I really was. I wouldn't expect anyone to make this tackle, to be honest. But I do need to see a better attempt. I need you at least to try him slow down. But like, look at wherever there's no one around to help. Like, no one even has a chance. Once he makes one guy miss here, even if Trader kind of slowed him down, like he's still going in field goal range. Um, I think once he got this pass off to Ladd, the game was pretty much over, just percentage wise. But I do think, yeah, Trader needs to work on breaking down, work on some tackling stuff because he's definitely a very willing tackler. But like plays a little too over aggressive. So hopefully that's something he can work upon because I think DB tackling is very important in NFL today for corner safeties. That's something I always look for. Is one, you got to be willing. Missed tackles will happen, but willing, and then like at least be somewhat of a consistent tackler. It's just that play really hurts you, and they get the big play now they're in field goal range. I mean, once they got to me, it was over because they had Cameron Dicker, and I'm like, oh, they only need one more positive play because Cameron Dicker is like the most accurate kicker in NFL history. He was making anything. He was making 60 pluses in my opinion against Miami. I've seen it before. I like whatever wherever if he was lined up to kick that field goal, it was going in. I didn't care where he was because game winners versus Miami. I don't remember the last time I've seen a game winner missed versus the Dolphins. But yeah, another just tough performance from the defense, especially late, especially in that second half, giving up touchdowns. First half, not too bad. I mean, holding the Chargers to 9 points, take that. But still, just overall, defense is still like the main sort of problem with this team. You know, some poor construction for sure, but even the players that should be playing, better at our high level aren't. And I mean, I think the spots around them aren't helping them being put in good spots. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed that, comment, subscribe, and